Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Washington Nationals franchise on MLB The Show 23. And today I bring to you the season recap episode. This is not going to be the off-season episode. We are recapping our 2022 season, and we are going to start here with retirements. And we've got two of them. First one is Stone Garrett, a guy who didn't play too much for us last season. I think he might have been stuck down at 1A. But the big one, Patrick Corbin calls it a career that is going to be $25 million off our books. Corbin started a few games for us this year, but for the most part, he was a long reliever that actually had some save situations. And Corbin played a little bit in Arizona, then he came over to Washington, and never really turned into the guy that we needed him to be. Had that great 2019 World Series run season, but after that he fell off, and then we converted him to our long reliever. And Corbin's a guy who we were probably gonna move on from. He not really too much to say about him right now. But anyways, we move on. So we have seen retirements. Robinson Cano will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And we've got our staff. We've got a rebrand, which we're not going to do. We've got free agent negotiations. But I want to see if, here they are. We get a chance to look at our prospects, our newly acquired, our draft prospects for next season. So the first one here out of the starting pitchers is Vladimir Garcia, 20-year-old, C potential, 69 overall off the bat. Really high floor for Garcia. Next up will be Todd Stout, 68 overall, B potential, so he ends up being a B potential. Let me see if I can, let's see, pitch types, pitching. I want to be able to, I don't know if it's going to show it. I want to be able to see his potential. Let me see if I can access that down here. Let me see. Oop. And we got an achievement here. Hold on. Garcia, Stout. Not too sure, but Stout only throws 3 pitches, throws a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup, and Garcia throws a 4-seam changeup, slider, and cutter. I guess we might as well go through the rest. Justin Moore ends up being a C potential, 20-year-old, 66 overall switch hitter, but not like that's gonna matter. And then as we go further down, I think that's all the pitchers that we took. Did we take a catcher? I think we did. Yeah, we took Chris Clemens, 18-year-old, 56 overall. He'll start out in 2A ball. And then we took a third baseman, I thought. Did we? Drew Mendoza? No, that's not him. Is that? No, it's not Mendoza. We took an outfielder. I know we did that. TJ White, is that him? That might have been him. Let's look here. Right fielder, Ken Cook, that's who it was. Ken Cook is a 21-year-old B potential, 56 overall. But obviously the main ones will be Todd Stout and Vladimir Garcia. Then Justin Moore down here. We'll have a chance to develop these guys. Moore has a running fastball, sweeping curve, changeup, and slider. Some unique pitches there, but his hit per 9 is at 22 overall, which is not ideal. So let's go ahead and recap what happened for us last season. And Strasburg finishes the year with a 4.09 ERA. He's sticking around. He's still got 3 years left on that deal, and we're going to keep him right where he is. Josiah Gray got re-signed to a quick 2-year contract. His ERA gets down, but he's a guy who's going to keep improving. Mackenzie Gore, in his first full season, I don't think he did that terrible, really, and he's going to get some ratings boost. He also gets the 2-year upgrade. Bobby Miller, who's got a lot of years of team control, he's going to be at the top of our rotation next season. Tim Cate, who we called up, and he relieved some games for us, and he started some games for us, but overall, I think it was a pretty successful 2023 season for him, and he will be on the verge of our rotation next year. Good chance he's the 5th starter. Vladimir Garcia, guy we just drafted. Trevor Williams has a 5.20 ERA. Played a little bit, started a little bit, but overall, a little underwhelming there for Trevor Williams. He's got 1 more year left on his deal. Cade Cavalli becomes a 68 overall, now 25 years old, and he's probably going to start the year in 3A where he is right now, and then he will be the first guy to get the call-up. Still have some hope for Cavalli. Now, Chad Kuhl, who did not play in the MLB last season. He was a 3A guy through and through. Todd Stout, our newly drafted 2nd overall pitcher, and the more I look at it, we're going to try to turn Stout into something good, but I just want to make sure that we didn't miss on this guy, and I'm afraid we might have, and I can't view his potential. I know there's a way to do it. Number 10, we'll change. I'll change up this guy's numbers and everything, and contract, term years, and yeah, I'll figure that out. But let's go to relievers. Hunter Harvey ended up being an alright reliever for us. He got a bulk of the workload, got some really nice ratings boosts. Then we have Erasmo Ramirez, who also had a few ratings go up, and he was a really nice middle reliever for us. Victor Arano turned into the closer later down the line and was solid. Had a lot of blown saves, though. Anthony Castro played a little bit in the majors for us. His ERA ballooned. He might start the year in 3A if he's even back at all. Andres Machado did all right in his time up in the majors. Only had 1 appearance, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Jordan Weems did not play. He was down in 3A all year. Willie Peralta did not play. He was down in 3A all year. Sean Doolittle, who will be a free agent this year, but I was kind of impressed with Doolittle. Obviously, he's not coming back. He's regressed a lot, and but he had a pretty good year for us. He was a reliable reliever. Mason Thompson, who did not play for us, he was down at 3A all year, and then Chris Gill, the reliever we took, this guy too, I forgot about, a potential 21 years old lefty, 2-seamer. He's a more of a slower down type of pitcher, but he'll start the year in Double A. And like I said, I'll go through and change everybody around, but Chris Gill, wow, did not know that we had a reliever in the wings like that. Kyle Finnegan and Tanner Rainey. Finnegan has got some arbitration, but so does Tanner Rainey, actually, so we might bring them back. I was not really impressed with Tanner Rainey this year. Finnegan, he was our closer for a while, 24 saves, but we'll just have to think about what we want to do with him. Caber Ruiz had a really good year for us at catcher. Obviously missed a little bit of the final part of the season, but being a switch hitter and his ability to get on base, he's got great vision, and he's going to be a great piece for us. Israel Pineda, a guy who I'm looking forward to see him take the next step. Now 23 years old, still got that C potential, and he's a guy who would have gotten the call up to the majors since Ruiz got injured and Drew Millis had to come in and play a little bit. Riley Adams, though, a nice power-hitting catcher off the bench for us, and he did his job and had to step in late last season, but we're not mad at it. First baseman, little situation here that I'm still trying to figure out how to deal with. I might keep all 3, still not sure. Michael Chavis eventually started turning it around a little bit. Brandon Lewis is going to be around, and he might honestly be getting the starting nod next season, but we'll just have to see how spring training ends up, because I probably will retain all 3 of these guys. Second baseman, Luis Garcia is our guy, and he was a little underwhelming for us last year, but another guy who I just want to keep developing. He's still really young. Nobody really of note behind him. Jaime Candelario, now 30 years old, has a couple of ratings boosts, and he had a pretty solid year for us last year. Cannot lie, hit 18 homers, 64 ribbies, and just about what you'd expect out of Candelario, a guy who's played around a little bit. Brady House, a guy who will be starting the year off in 3A for us, and he has looked darn good. He's one of our top prospects, and we're just going to keep developing him. Tyler Whitaker, the guy who we acquired in the Anthony Banda trade, we're going to make sure we keep developing him, and we are going to try to turn him into a nice utility piece for us. But behind that, not really too much here. So let's move over to shortstop, and CJ Abrams finishes the year with some nice ratings boost. Nice to see that power go up. 23 years old now, and he played all of last year and was a really solid player for us. Only 5 homers, but it doesn't matter too much when your power is that low. He was able to get on base though, and really nice year for CJ Abrams. Jeter Downs sitting behind him, a guy who I really like and surprised me last year. He, in the at-bats that he had, he hit really well. But past that, you got like Lucius Fox down here, who's pretty solid, had a pretty good year in 3A. But after that, Jose Salas, another piece that we picked up. I believe this one was from the Twins to go give them Carl Edwards Jr., and Salas just needs to keep developing. Not too much of note there. Out in left field, we had 2 guys that played. Yadiel Hernandez, who got injured, and he would be a guy who got the call, but obviously that injury. You want to talk about a guy who played a ton for us, played 162 games for us, 600 at-bats, and Alex Call got a workload this year, but man, I'll tell you what, he took advantage of it, and he had a pretty darn good season. Behind that, Corey Dickerson, another guy who we might let go in free agency. We might keep him. Still not sure. Got to figure out what our outfielders look like. Maybe a guy like Elijah Green will be starting to play up in the majors. But Dickerson had a darn good year, and just can't really say enough about it. Really solid. TJ White down here. I believe this is a guy we drafted. 20 years old, 64 overall. That deep potential, though, does kind of hurt. Moving on to center fielders, as is Victor Robles, really the only guy who had any substantial time in the majors up here. And Robles had an alright year. Seems like he's starting to fizzle out a little bit, but we've got some guys waiting in the wings, and we're not too worried about it. Elijah Green started off red hot in 2A, got a little slowed down in 3A, but he eventually picked it up at the end of the year, and Elijah Green might be able to make a run at the Major League roster. Same thing with James Wood, except he started slow in 3A, moved him down to 2A, and he finished off really strong in 2A. And both of these guys will be fighting for a spot. Behind that, Joshua Baez, I think he's still a couple years out, need to develop that bat a little bit more. Same thing with Robert Hassel. Both of these guys, though, pretty solid. And then Jeremy De La Rosa, a guy who I have not talked too much about yet, but I think De La Rosa is a guy who, if he just keeps hitting well, just kind of see what happens. Lane Thomas, another guy who played a ton of baseball for us, had a really good year. I love using his speed. I love his fielding. Just overall, really solid contact hitter. And still got 2 more years of team control left. But if we're bad next year, Lane Thomas might be that Joey Meneses type player. Donovan Casey, played a game with him, hit a home run, and Donovan did really well for us, and I really like what we have in him. He didn't do really well for us, did he? He had a good 3A year. I'll give him that. But behind that, we've got Ken Cook, another prospect, which I mentioned, and Cook, 5'8". Oh boy, he's got to develop some batting before we do much with him. But yeah, that is our roster recap as we go through, AAA, all this stuff. And some of these guys, we're going to have to figure out where they're going. Vladimir Garcia might just end up starting the year in 3A as we get to see some other players. Oh my goodness, Victor Mejia. Closer, a potential, 18 years old. Jesus. I just caught that. That just caught my eye. Okay, so Garcia, like I said, we'll make all these moves later on. We got to go through free agency first, but we're really excited in what we have. Let's go ahead and look at our exclusive free agents. Doolittle, Colomb, Peralta, all three of those guys probably not coming back. Corey Dickerson has a $19 million call. Jesus. Oh, all of these are 19. Candelario, what does he want? Honestly, that's not even that bad of a deal. 1 year, $4 million. We'll offer him that. Cool, not gonna bring back. Got pitchers waiting. Erasmo Ramirez, not giving him a 4-year deal, I'll tell you that. I don't even know if I want to pay him this. We'll give you 1.8, see if you like it. Corey Dickerson, they just want contract length. What is Dickerson? What's a fair deal for you? We'll give you $3 million to come back for 1 more year. Our payroll is not anything crazy right now, and I think that's all the moves that we're comfortable making. Reviewing our staff, we need to make some staff hires, and the first thing I'm going to do is fire Dave Martinez. Aaron Boone is on the market. Just won we'll get to the playoffs, but Yankees won the World Series, and Boone is sitting there. Jason Cordero, plus power, plus plate vision, plus fielding, at 42 years old. Oh my, we're gonna be breaking into the bank here. I don't think we want to do that. I don't think we want to hire that big of a guy. Kyle Snyder. He's got more pitching. He's got speed. Pluses, James Molina, Enrique Fishman. We got velo here. Base on balls, drag bunting. We've got arm accuracy, stealing, plate vision. Tell you what, let's go and let's look here at Kyle Snyder. I like these pitching upgrades, especially for how much we've invested into pitching. Jeez, God. Oh my goodness. All right, how about not that? How about we give you 20? We'll give you $5 million a year. Let me know what you think about that. So we have offered a manager. We need to offer a hitting coach now. Hitting coaches for hire. Let's see. Let's work on something here. -1 contact. -1 drag bunting. I like Jason Cordero. So we'll offer him 1.5 a year. He likes it. So now we have to look for a pitching coach. 64-year-old Billy Floyd, and some nice stuff here. Daryl Coles. I like this. We'll do that. So we will. Where are we at here? Advance a day. Snyder has accepted an offer from the Giants, but we get Cordero and we get Coles. Still need a skipper, but we're gonna get Jason Cordero, Daryl Coles as well. And now we just need. Oh, okay. So we've got some guys here. Oh, these are the guys who are getting offers right now. Roman Schaefer, Enrique Fishman, Fernando Malone. We've got UCL Coy sitting here. So, pitching coach Fernando Malone, a manager going to the Yankees. God, that's a lot of money. They want to bring Boone in as a hitting coach, and that's what he's most interested in. So, Fernando Malone, how about we make you... What's he gonna be? What's he gonna be though? I'm bringing in a manager. I don't need a hitting coach. Victor Mesa, Joe Mesa, Victor Mesa. What am I talking about? Let's see here. Pitching coach down here, Jose Reeves. We've got velo, stamina, plate vision, bunting, -2 clutch, but +3 reaction here for Greg Hyde. Let's do this. Let's bring him in at $4 million a year, and let's see if we're gonna get him. This free agency 1 starting up is in 1 day, and we get Greg Hyde, and free agency is here. Look at the mustache on whoever the hell that is. Are we seeing this right? Oh my goodness. Who are you? Who is that? Starting pitcher? Schaller, 61 overall. Our last... What, dude? That is insane. Oh my god. Look at the mustache on that guy. Jesus. Tender contracts. Bobby Miller does not have enough MLB service. Bobby. What if I give you 6 years? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. We got some guys who we got to re-sign here. This will be in the off-season episode. We're going to stop it right here, but we've got a lot of money to spend. Free agency. Top player, Shohei Ohtani. My goodness. Just a beast. Played all 162 last year. Pitched all 33 last year. Aaron Nola. A lot of good starting pitchers on the market. Looks like the Dodgers want to bring these two guys back. Looks like Philly wants to bring Nola back, as well as Hoskins. They just can't offer him that much money. Josh Hader, they want to bring him back to San Diego. Severino. So it looks like, oh, Crone's not getting an offer. Crone's got some really solid pop. Let's see. If there's anybody we're going to target, it'll probably be a first baseman. CJ Cron. Belt's getting a 1-year deal. See, like, we could bring in a guy like Brandon Belt on a cheap 1 year. Joey Votto's available. Still got really good, just got partially good hitting stats, and had a pretty darn good year last season. Eric Hosmer, Terrence Kelly, a potential. Okay, we could look at a guy like that. So we've also got to select a 40-man. We've got 37 total people on the 40-man right now. And the first thing that I want to do is put Elijah Green on it. So we're going to add Elijah to the 40-man. Cade, you should be on it. And we will manage all this stuff, but we have a chance to lose Jake Bennett. That doesn't mean we're going to put him on the 40-man. Let's see who we got down here. Garcia, don't need to do it yet. Relievers, catchers. Is Israel on the 40-man? He is. 3 of those guys are on the 40-man. We could put Brady House onto it, but we're not there yet with him. We got to put 2 more guys on it. We could put James Wood. I think we'll do that. I think we'll put Elijah and James Wood both on the 40-man. And then we just need 1 more guy. Todd Stout, we could go ahead and stick on it, but I need to see his development before we make anything with him. Tyler Whitaker, we can add to the 40-man. But tell you what, they want me to add Jake Bennett to it, and I'll do that so we don't lose him. And yeah, not really worried about losing Keyboom. I don't know. Kind of want to keep that mustache around though that Schaller's got on him. Trade talks. Look at that. Our roster has improved a little bit. Our catcher is now in a pretty good shape. Right fielder, still pretty good. We have no pitching, though. Middle infield, you got to expect that to develop. But let's do a final little roster rundown here to tell you guys sort of what I'm feeling before I get into the off-season episode. And number one thing is pitching. And I think that we have addressed that pretty darn well. Todd Stout. Can I look at a prospect list right now? I can't. I don't think it's out there, but Todd Stout, who we are going to try to develop into a top of the rotation guy. Only 3 pitches though. You might have to wink develop one there. And let me know down in the comments what pitch y'all would like to see Todd Stout throw. We've also got Justin Moore, Vladimir Garcia, who's at a really good starting point. And we've still got the guys from last year. Obviously, Strasburg will be leading the rotation. Josiah Gray, Mackenzie Gordon, Bobby Miller. All 3 have a chance to take that next step and overtake Steven Strasburg. Tim Cate right now is sort of a 5th starter for us, and still have Trevor Williams around. Relieving, we might add a guy since we lost Carl Edwards. Still not sure, but we've got some pretty solid depth here. Catcher, not worried. Cabrit's our guy. First baseman, this is where I said I'd like to add somebody, if possible. Third base, definitely need to add a guy. We've got some middle infielders that can play, but we just need to add depth in middle infield. And for the outfielders, I think we're in a pretty good shape. I think we need to maybe try to go back and get Corey Dickerson, just to give us some more outfield depth. But I'm fully expecting Wood or Green, one of these guys, to take over and really impress in spring training. Lane Thomas still around. Like I said, he does not have that much more team control left on him, and he is a guy who we might be looking to move at the deadline. Not too sure. But anyways, I will leave you guys off there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next episode where we have our off-season special. Peace.